Hello and welcome back to my channel, Logan Speed Shop. Today we're here to talk issues about the RX7. Last time we took it for its first drive. This time we're here to fix the issues. So if we go underneath, you can see we're dripping water, and that's literally just from idling in. And another big issue, I don't know if you can see, but the lowest point is the exhaust. It's about an inch off the ground and it is just sitting in a horrendous position. So we need to redo that. Plus it's also way too loud. So I've got in touch with AES and I've got a couple of resonators coming from them. Also got a new flexi coming. So we'll redo the front half, chuck some more V-bands in, and then on the back we're going to change the tips. So I've got a couple of pie cuts coming as well. So I'll weld them all together, and yeah, just a gentle 45 on each of the rear ends, just to make it a little bit nicer, get the heat away from the bumper, especially if there's any flames, they don't melt it straight off. But yeah, the big one is that water drip, and that is caused purely by the through studs. So when the nuts were done up originally, no one put RTV under them. Not my fault. It's the fault of the bloke that built my engine. I'll leave him unnamed. But yeah, that is a bit of an issue. So we've got to pull the gearbox out. So I'll chuck this up on stands. Jack's just about to go under. Chuck it up on stands. Pull the box out. Pull the clutch off. We've got some new flywheel bolts here from Tuner's Edge. So I'll chuck them on when I put it back together. Clean the clutch up a bit as well. Try and fix some of the issues it's having. And probably bleed the brakes as well while it's in the air. But yeah, it'll be one nut at a time off, cover an RTV where it needs to, and then put it back on, torque her up. Yeah, let's get into this bugger. Let's get her up in the air, let's get this box out. So we can see pretty quickly, she hit the ground there in that last video, just going over a speed bump down my road. Took out a bit of the flexi, bit of the clamp. Honestly, not going to reuse this flexi, I'll put a new one in it. And that muffler's going in the bin. So no harm, no foul there. See a bit of my welds. But yeah, we'll redo pretty much. I reckon the new flexi is pretty much going to go there. I'll put a new O2 bung in it, which is not that bad. Wow, it's an easy job. Worst bit about it is drilling the bloody hole. Hate drilling through stainless, especially the big bugger that's needed for that. But we've got to let it cool down a bit, and then I'm going to pull this box out. Under there at the moment, my back's all sorts of sore. But we got to do it. Got the rattle gun, got the torque wrench, got some silicone. Go under here now. I have to get the torch out to show you guys. But yeah, that's just what's been happening. The coolant's been coming up through the threads lightly and leaking out. So I'm going to pull one nut off at a time and re-silicone them. Looks like there's only that one, and I think it was that one that's been leaking. But yeah, one at a time. Pretty much going in the factory pattern. I'm not going to show me doing it because it's just going to be tedious, and I'm going to end up covering the camera in silicone. But yeah, one at a time, we'll get them all done. Should be fun. Easy enough job really. Just, I don't have much of a gap. Well, that wasn't too bad. I went over the top with RTV just to be safe. You can see the hell of a mess I've made. But hey, let's be honest, it's not going to hurt anything. But what you want to do next is pressurize it. So I got this tester here. I'll take the cap off and I'll just chuck bloody 15 pound of pressure or something through it. Make sure it doesn't leak. Hopefully it doesn't. I mean, I can fix it now still. If it does, I'll get back under there. It was a pretty simple process. I just went one nut and washer at a time, covered them in RTV, put them back on, and then just did them up to 40 Newton meters. I believe that was what, yeah, pardon me, 40 Newton meters, and yeah, on to the next one. And then just went round them all at the end and made sure they were all tight, which they were. The test is on. See it sitting there just at the green line. Well, I think you can see it there. Tester's in. It's a little bit finicky. Whenever I touch it, it loses a bit of pressure. But the good sign is, well, oh no, there is a drip on the floor, but it's from somewhere else. So I'll find those. I've got two actually. So it's better find those buggers. That is not off the back cover though, so that is good. A couple to find. And I'll let them get worse because I want to play around with the shifter spring and this gearbox at the same time. Probably jump between the two. Bit of a mission trying to find a shifter spring. Ended up ringing Promaz, they had one in stock. That's the part number. Because mine is ruined. Must be broken. You can see it just sits over to the side. It's giving you that real sloppy shifter feeling. I'm hoping it's just a matter of taking that top side cover off, taking all these bolts off, and you'll be able to slip it back out, put a new spring in, away we go. Never done one before, seen one quick video on how to do it. I reckon I got it under control. So I'm going to play around with that while my water leak gets more clear. You're right, there we are, old out. Old is out. And we got the new one to go on. So I hit the broken bit here before, there we are. That little bugger broke off. What a nightmare, you can see my contraption here. Definitely haven't done this the right way, but it worked. That's all that matters. Roll pins out down there as well. Giving it a bit of a clean as it was full of gunk in there. Now I'm going to try and put this new one in. Not 100% how the spring sits on there, so I'll play around with it a bit, but I'm sure I'll make it pretty bloody close. Well, I can tell you this much for free. Don't try and do this with the gearbox in the car. You have a blasted of a time. So yeah, just got the linkage all back down there. This is just floating a bit loose. So I've gone flat side of the little hook around there, and the other hook up the top. I hope this is all the correct location. And I reckon the shifter will just locate in there. Just about to clean the roll pin up, punch that through, and then position everything else back in. A little bit of a mess. Should be easy enough. And then she's ready to go back in the car tomorrow. Will be easy enough job done. Plus, while this is all happening, the pressure's dropped just enough that I was able to lie under the car and find the water leak. It is actually a bottom blanking plug on the turbo for the water. So I'm going to pull that off, put some thread sealant on it and put it back in tomorrow as well. I hate doing bloody gearboxes on the ground, but I got to get it back in there. The clutch, she doesn't look the best. Should be right. You can see there's a bit of rust and stuff. I reckon that's why it was just gripping too much. I'm hoping with a bit of heat it fixes itself. It is near the end of its life, but should be good enough for where I want this car to be power wise. So I'm just going to chuck it back in again. This has been on all night, down to 6-ish psi. 2 leaks, one from the drain on the bottom of the radiator, one from the turbo, just a bung. So I drain the water out to do the one on the bottom of the drain to the radiator. It just needs a new O-ring. That's simple. And the other one, probably a copper washer and some thread sealant. Easy, easy. Time to wrestle this bloody thing back into the car. Chuck the clutch on. I put the flywheel on last night. Just torqued it all up, paint marked it all. So I will get under there with some brake clean up the flywheel, get my greasy fingers off it, and chuck this bastard on. Hopefully this goes in smooth. Problem is, the shifter surround case, whatever you want to call it, the level of the chassis is here, so this actually sits up into it, and I don't have enough droop on the back of my motor, so it's a bit of a bastard, but we'll make it work. What a mission. What an absolute mission this was. But the box is back in there, as you can see. Shifter's back in, and the shifter feels amazing. You can just see the bottom boot's worn, but who cares, because it actually works. As you can see there, it's not sloppy. Honestly, not sure how long it'll last before the spring breaks. Hopefully ages, and I never have to deal with that again. But yeah, if you got a sloppy shifter and you got the box out, replace that goddamn spring, because man, it makes a difference. I didn't think it would, and it really does. What is next? Just refilling the water, fixed up the bloody leaks, cut my downpipe up. She's cut off in a bit. So I just got a front section, as I'm still waiting on the 2 resonators. They've just been sent today, and waiting on the pie cuts to arrive for the tips. It's kind of in limbo when it comes to the exhaust, so probably start to do the wiring that's in the interior, chuck the tail shaft in, put the gearbox oil in. Wish me luck, boys, wish me luck. We got most of the components for the exhaust off again, ready to remake it. So before I get into what I'm going to do, show you what I've got here. Got a couple of resonators through AES. They're meant to be the tried and true when it comes to rotary. So we've got a small 4-inch and a bigger 5-inch. Just basically due to size constrictions under the car. Want to keep it as tucked up as high as I can, so I mean a bit smaller. Got some pie cuts from Ben Brothers I've already welded up. So they'll be the exhaust tips. That'll sit like that sort of thing. Kind of marked where I'm going to put it when I'm going to take the mufflers off, and I'll cut it. Got another flexi. That flexi will go here. The O2 bung will end up getting moved a little bit. Flexi to V-band. This here, this one will get cut off, and we'll put a V-band here. I've tried to go as round as I can because it ovals off. Might have to tap it with a hammer to get it a bit more round, but here's hoping it's not too bad. Otherwise we'll deal with it. And yeah, then the 2 resonators will chill in the middle. Should be pretty basic. I'm just going to get cutting, get tacking, and see what it comes up with. Step 1, flexi and V-band are tacked on the front pipe. V-band is tacked on the rear Y pipe. Had to round off that pipe a lot, but she's not bad now. The gap's still a little bit bigger in some spots than I'd like, but overall she's good. Now let's mock her up and build a midsection. We did it, team. We bloody did it. On the ground, worst place to build an exhaust. Little flexi there, V-band. See my earth strap still there. To the AES fliz. To the V-band, to the back. If you look, this muffler here sits probably the lowest, but it's not far off the back system either. It pops up quite high. I've got to actually smack the floor a little bit, just above that the back muffler there. Ugly tacks, just going through the weld through. I'll give that a wire wheel when I do it properly. Actually had to make my own pie cut for the back, so it's not perfect, just to get it to sit how I wanted. But yeah, she is tacked. I guess there's only one thing for it. Let's see if it sounds alright. Only tacked together, so it's going to be full of exhaust leaks. Doesn't matter if it's in gear. The bloody car's off the ground. Let's have a look. I don't have to replace this bloody starter. Keeps jamming up. I might order one of those tonight. Alright, get the bar. Whack the solenoid a couple of times. And let's try this again. Surely that's got it. I just want to hear this bloody thing. Sloppy camera work. Alright, I'm going to use 2 hands, whack that solenoid properly, and then come back to you. Here goes. Alright, bugger it. I'm going to give the starter a minute, work out the dump pipes, and come back and give it another go in a second. Alright, so it started off camera. A lot of exhaust leaks. A lot. But overall, it's a bit better. It's still loud, but I can deal with that. The exhaust leaks make it sound way worse. But in the back, it's actually not bad. Fighting the clock a little bit now, trying to get it all done before I go to work. Garage is down just because this tradie's working across the road. Just trying to keep some of the noise down, hear them bloody cutting away. Downpipe is done, she's wrapped. O2 sensors back in there. She's about a foot shorter than it was before. Welds aren't too bad, not the best. Honestly, still need to get some more stainless practice. And yeah, the midsection come up right. Painted silver because I just didn't have any black paint. Oh, those will go black. The mufflers, or the resonators, are mild steel and they got scratched up pretty good. And I just wire wheeled where I was welding. Even though it looked like it was weld through paint. I wanted to make it easier on myself, so wire wheel was simple. But yeah, just get this in there. The bloody tips are on. The driver's side needs to be tilted a little bit round. The other side sits right. I've made a couple of little marks, so I should be able to just cut it off. It's just tacked on. Rotate it around, tack it again, hopefully it sits right. Back section's already on there under the diff. But yeah, just get these two on there, which should be simple. It's only freebie being clamped even easier. Bloody tradie noise. Alright, let's get this on there. Oh, and the starter turned up. So JS starter, just a factory replacement. So this should be good. Hopefully you got the right one, so make sure that bolts up. Then can start it up again. Hopefully well, there's going to be some exhaust leaks because the back flanges aren't sealed, because I've got to pull it off and weld the tips up. But it's going to be close to no leaks. It is all bolted up. See there, it sits pretty good, nice and high. Back section all on. Like I say, just no gaskets at the back to in the 2 bolts. But let's see if it starts. Starter motor had the wrong bolt pattern. So I got the old starter in, just hoping for the best. Hopefully it's thought about what it's done. It realises it's made a mistake and it's happy to start this time. It's not the case. Gonna give it a couple of whacks, try it again, because I just want to hear this and then I can pull that muffler off. Bugger it. Starter motor's cooked me, smacked it a heap with the hammer. As it doesn't work, I slowly get rougher and rougher. I'm just gonna hurt something. So I might as well do that rear muffler. There we have it. So much quieter. A lot of engine noise. All that steam burning off the heat wrap, but I'm right. It sounds as it should. That's good, I'm happy. But yeah, I'm happy. Probably can't hear me much, starting to smoke out the garage a little bit. That steam's just plummeting off the bloody heat wrap. Of course it's wet when I put it on, so it's gonna happen. That's good. All the back ended up getting welded on when I was waiting for the starter to start as well. It's all sealed up. That's not a bad idle, especially considering it's cold and the timing's a little bit off on the cold map.